everybody. It's Dylan at thequietedge.com. I know it's been a while since I've made a full-length video. I've been focusing mostly on making YouTube shorts, but I wanted to get back and start making full-length videos again because there's a lot of value that I can put in about 10 minutes that you can't otherwise get in a short form video. So today, what I want to be talking about is the power of one-on-ones for us as introverts. And I'm not just talking about one-on-ones with just, one type of person. We're going to be covering several types of people in this one-on-one. And why are they important, right? What is the point of me making this video? It's really to talk about something that introverts like myself often overlook, right? And that is the power of connecting with individuals outside of our inner circle. I'll explain why that's important later on in the video, so stick around to the end. Specifically in the workplace, we don't have to be the loudest person in the room, right? We don't have to be the one to quote unquote work the room at a networking event. For us as introverts, right, it's draining, or we even feel fake when we do that because it's just not who we are deep down. But there is good news. We don't have to be the loudest one in the room, right? We can thrive in these very small settings, and in this case, it's one-on-one, right? It's just you and someone else, and we can truly shine. And that's important because it's going to help us in our careers. But with one-on-ones, we can get deeper in our conversations. We can establish trust both directions, and we can express our ideas in a way that's more thoughtful, right? That's more meaningful. Let's get into the 4 types of people that I want you to start working on for one-on-one conversations. And the first one we're going to talk about is your coworker. A lot of us are back in the office. Some of us are on hybrid schedules or even still working from home, but we're always working with a coworker in some form or fashion. And it's important for us as introverts to build these one-on-one conversations with coworkers because it allows us to collaborate easier when we have to work on other projects together. So if we continuously stay inside of our own space, I'm talking mental and physical space, and we don't bother to try to make connections with our coworkers, when the boss asks us to work together on joint projects, it's just going to make it that much harder and that much more of an energy drain for us. So let's start small and let's start making those one-on-one connections. And when I say small, I mean really small, and on time frames that you can control, like a coffee break rather than a lunch. A coffee break is 5 minutes, right? You go grab a coworker that you want to talk to. And you may only have 1 or 2 things that you want to learn about that individual, or 1 or 2 things that you need help on. So the time it takes for you two to walk to the break room and make your own cup of coffee, or walk down to the lobby if your building happens to have a coffee bar in it, the amount of time that it takes that person to prepare the coffee and for you guys to walk back up or walk back over to your desk is the conversation. 5 minutes, right? Then what happens at the end is you both feel comfortable and more connected that you got something out of the conversation and you go your separate ways. Don't waste 30, 45 minutes over a lunch and all this in between where there is no talking, because you're just going to drain your energy. 2, do it with a close friend, right? This is very, very easy for us as introverts who have that inner circle of friends, because you know how they're going to react. They know how you're going to react. You know what things to say, and they know what things to say. That's why that person's in your inner circle. But why is it important to continuously have these one-on-one conversations? Well, it's because it recharges us. And we don't want to wait until the weekend to have these recharging conversations, these energizing conversations. Because what's the point of having them on the weekend if you are drained the entire work week? So we need to start mixing these into our work day. So this could be on your lunch break. It could be a morning break. It could be an afternoon break. It could be all 3 of them if you want to. But having these short conversations about anything with your close friend can help us give us that energy boost to get us to that next segment of the day. The third type of person is a boss that you like. So why is it important to have a one-on-one with a boss that you like? Well, two things. It builds trust both ways, and two, it builds visibility for you, especially if you're looking to move up in your career. When you have one-on-one conversations on a regular basis with your boss, whether it's every week or every other week, you have the opportunity solo to tell your boss the things that you accomplished and the things that you're working on, and maybe some things that you need some help on. And as you do this on a regular basis, you're going to learn how your boss listens and how your boss responds, right? And hopefully it continues to bolster the fact that you like this boss, right? So you can start building a deeper connection with your boss. And then what that does is it allows you to share a lot more because you're having what seems to be like a casual conversation amongst friends, even though there's still that level of hierarchy there, right? We don't want to forget that. That's important. But it makes it easier because you're not surrounded by all of your peers in a conference room feeling like you're bragging about accomplishments that you made that week, right? It doesn't feel right to us internally. And then the fourth is a boss that you don't like, right? I have to say it. A lot of us have bosses that we don't like. We've worked for bosses that we don't like. We've left companies because of bosses we don't like. And sometimes we're just stuck with a boss that we don't like. But why is it important to have these, right? It's tough. It's a lot tougher than a boss you do like, but it's still very powerful. So having these one-on-ones on a routine basis allows you to clear up any misunderstandings that may have happened during the week or the week before. So whether it was something that was lost in translation in an email, because as we all know, your voice and the way you say things in an email and maybe the way your boss says something in an email comes across completely different when you're saying it to each other or trying to clarify something in person, right? It could be something as like them portraying themselves as a bully in an email, but when you talk to them in person, it's a genuine misunderstanding or a genuine lack of knowledge and they're asking you for help, right? It really depends on the way it is read and the way it is heard. So by having these one-on-one conversations, you can clear up these misunderstandings, but there's also an opportunity for you to set some boundaries, right? So when do you like to work? When do you like to work on certain projects? If there are timelines or schedules that your boss would like to portray rather than barking in an email, right? You can have these clear conversations and clearly set some deadlines so both of you are on the same page. So how are we going to do these one-on-ones? We can treat them pretty similar no matter what type of person we're talking to. So the first one is prepare, right? With coworkers and bosses and even a close friend, you want to have something to talk about and it's on you. The reason I say it's on you is because if you can control it, right, you control the energy drain, you can control what we talk about, and you can control the ending of that conversation without prolonging it, because we need to get back to other things. 2, we want to lead with curiosity. Why are we asking these questions? And be genuine about it, right? It's not hard for us to be genuine. That's who we are. That's why we have close groups of friends, because we want to have these deep conversations. But it's important because it builds trust in both individuals. 3, use your listening skills. You want people to feel heard in ways that they rarely do. And why is that important? Is because that makes you memorable. And if you want to move up and you want to have success in your career, you want to be memorable. And that could be a coworker talking you up to another coworker, or talking you up to a higher up person in the company. It could be your own boss, right? Remembering you when it comes times for more responsibilities or a new project, or maybe even an internal promotion. Being memorable counts in so many ways when it comes to your career. And the last one is follow-up. And you can treat this any way you want to. With a coworker, it could be a quick follow-up. Maybe it's not even necessary because you might see that person the next day. With a close friend, if it's been a while since you've connected, maybe follow up with a quick text. Say, hey, it was great talking to you. I really enjoyed my time. I can't wait till we can connect again. Well, and then with your bosses, it's probably the best idea to follow up, probably in terms of an email. Just thank them for the time. Thank you for clearing things up. You appreciate the conversation, and I look forward. I'm gonna prepare these things to talk about for our next conversation, and your boss is going to appreciate that because they know that you're thinking ahead. One-on-one conversations for introverts are natural, right? We like having these deeper conversations. We don't have to dominate a group. We just need to connect with one individual at a time. And if you want more strategies like this and other ways to help you succeed in your career, check out my website, thequietedge.com. I have digital downloads. I have an introvert course for how to navigate your career in the business world. I even do one-on-one coaching sessions. So go check it out at thequietedge.com. If you found value in this video, please hit the thumbs up and even subscribe so you get notified the next time I release a long-form video. I'm going to do my best to do this every week. And then I'm going to post a comment down below. I'm going to pin it to the top just to help with engagement in the comments. I'm going to reply to every comment. I'm definitely going to read through them all. So I want to engage and have a meaningful conversation about why it's important to have these one-on-ones. So until next time,